Hello and welcome. This is the entertainment news on the Papyrus Global TV. My name is Christiana Babayo. Before we begin, here are the headlines. Dunsin Oyekan blasts surge in attacks against Christian communities. Actress Bukola Arugba says 4 relatives abducted in Kwara church attack slams First Lady's comments. VDM leads protests in Abuja, demands swift action over Kebbi schoolgirls' abduction. Prophet warns against Hallelujah Challenge, says it is a spiritual trap. Prayers won't fix Nigeria, singer Omali warns. Pastor Nathaniel Bassi urges urgent action against kidnappings and banditry. Davido slams inaction after Kwara church attack, Kebbi girls' abduction. And now the news in details. Gospel artist Dunsin Oyekan has strongly condemned what he calls senseless and cruel attacks on Christian worshippers following a deadly ambush on a church in Eruku, Kwara State. The attack, which reportedly occurred during a live-streamed service, left multiple worshippers dead and several others abducted. Oyekan lamented that the frequency and severity of such attacks points to a deeper failure in protecting places of worship. In social media, remarks picked up by community media, he called for divine justice but also urged government authorities to take stronger, decisive action to stem the tide of violence. His comments come amid mounting national and international outcry. The African Democratic Congress (ADC) has already warned that the government's inaction risks turning the narrative of Christian genocide into a self-fulfilling prophecy. Meanwhile, the northern branch of the Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) described the attacks along with other recent incidents as a coordinated attempt to destabilize the country. In response to the attack, security forces have moved swiftly. Soldiers have been deployed to Eruku, and State's Police Command says they are working with local vigilantes to hunt down the assailants. The deployment underscores the gravity of the crisis and the urgency of protecting vulnerable communities. Nollywood actress Bukola Arugba Owoyemi has raised a serious alarm, alleging that 4 of her family members were abducted in the recent church attack in Eruku, Kwara State, a claim she says directly contradicts the statement issued by the state's First Lady. Arugba, who hails from the community, publicly rejected official reports characterizing the incidents as a failed or attempt attack. She insisted that the attack was successful as she had received real-time on-the-ground updates from relatives. In a video address, she identified some of those taken as Evangelist Titi Balogun, her aunt, and Ebenezer Aina, her cousin's son, noting that their whereabouts remain unknown and their fate is causing deep anguish in her family. Her strong counter-narrative adds fuel to a growing public outcry, especially as viral video footage from the church shows gunmen entering during service, causing chaos and seizing people. Arugba's demand for transparency, rescue efforts, and accurate government reporting mirrors wider fears that similar attacks may increasingly go underplayed or misrepresented. Prominent social media activist, Very Dark Man Martins Vincent Osei led a demonstration in Abuja demanding urgent government intervention following the abduction of schoolgirls in Kebbi State. According to protesters, the federal government's response has been slow and inadequate, even as parents plead for help. Very Dark Man criticized what he described as a deaf and dormant leadership, calling for aggressive rescue operations, stronger accountability, and immediate punitive actions against those responsible. He warned that if government does not tighten security and ensure justice, such abductions will continue to spiral out of control. The protest has drawn broader attention to the issue of mass killings in northern Nigeria, contributing to pressure on security agencies to step up and deliver on their promises of protecting children and restoring safety to vulnerable regions. A self-described prophet by name Professor Ustawi has issued a stern warning to Nigerians who participated in the viral Hallelujah Challenge, alleging that the social media trend is not merely a fun act of faith but a spiritual trap. According to his claims, those who join the challenge without discernment may expose themselves to spiritual danger, believing they are inviting demonic influence disguised as holy acts. The prophet's message reflects growing concern among some religious leaders that viral Christian challenges, while often innocent, can drift into superstition or social media spectacle. He urged believers to seek spiritual deliverance rather than treat such challenges as harmless as harmless fun, emphasizing that true faith requires vigilance, prayer, and grounding in doctrine. We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, the news will continue. Stay tuned.
The Papyrus Global, we don't just cover events, we create cinematic experiences. From red carpets to birthdays, gala dinners, and your fairy tale weddings, we bring your moments to life with high-tech precision. Our gadgets are smarter, our lenses sharper, and our team simply world-class. Trust the Papyrus Global to tell your story in the boldest, brightest way possible.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue. Afrobeat star Omale has issued a forthright critique of calls for prayers as the primary solution to Nigeria's deepening security and governance crisis. In a recent interview, he argued that while spiritual intervention is important, the country also needs real structural solutions. He emphasized that millions of Nigerians are tired of empty platitudes and symbolic prayers. They want accountability, proactive government policy, effective policing, and meaningful reform. According to him, failures cannot be cured by prayer alone. Political will and institutional reform must accompany spiritual support. His remarks amplify a growing sentiment among young Nigerians who feel that during times of crisis, calls for more prayers often serve as substitutes for actions. Omale's perspective is resonating profoundly with a generation that demands concrete change, not simply spiritual solace. Renowned Nigerian Gospel Minister Nathaniel Bassey has spoken out urgently, calling on the government to adopt stronger measures to tackle the wave of kidnappings and banditry that have plagued many parts of the country. In a passionate message, he urged authorities not to politicize security, but to prioritize the protection of innocent citizens, particularly in vulnerable rural communities. Bassey emphasized that faith and prayer are not enough when people's lives are at stake. He called for a coordinated strategy involving security agencies, community leaders, and religious organizations to safeguard vulnerable populations. His appeal resonates as many Nigerians continue to feel unsafe, especially in regions where criminal violence has become routine. Music superstar Davido has publicly voiced his anguish over the recent church attack in Kebbi State, calling the incident devastating and unacceptable. He describes the pain experienced by the families of the victims as something no family deserves. In a heartfelt post, he urged both government and security agencies to do more than just make statements. He demanded immediate rescue operations, transparent investigations, and justice for the victims. Davido said that fear is returning to too many communities and insisted that Nigeria's leaders must act, not just talk, if trust is to be restored. And that's all we have on entertainment news on the Papyrus Global TV. I am Christiana Barbayo. Thanks for joining us.